Greetings and salutations with the Chief Security Officer Don Corleone of American Muscle Security LLC in conjunction with Stackbooks Foundation LLC, Parent Group Confidential LLC. Salute to everybody as with us during Operation Reforge. This is Operation Meshach and Abednego, and I am your host. Also salute to everybody as with us during Operation Get Well USA. This is Operation Meshach and Abednego, and I am your host, Estania Guard. Badge number 11516466472. Verify that through ASCAP, bodyguard. Special police, I did say police. So it is Wednesday, June 24th, 2026. I'm on the corner of 21st Street and, and Carson on South Side. So I'm going through the motions. Again, you know what I'm saying? This is also something that I do with one of my student organizations, Second Childhood Series, which is an organization for guys who have been through the system. Maybe you had a misdemeanor, maybe you had a felony, whatever it is. Let's say you want to be a firefighter, you're with us. Let's say you want to be a police officer, you're with us. Let's say you want to be anything, a general laborer, an elementary teacher, an engineer, whatever you want to be. The thing is, whenever you get a criminal record, okay, pause. I want you to be able to hear me. There's cars going by. That's why I pause like that. So when you get a criminal record, some businesses, they don't give you an opportunity to work for them ever. You know what I'm saying? So it's ruled out. Let's say you want to go to med school, or you want to go to law school, or you want to go to a private school. Private schools, they operate by their own rules. So you might not be able to go to a private school ever, or you might not be able to get a certain certification. You think, oh, I understand that, but I don't want to be a police officer. It doesn't matter. You know, these same things apply. Let's say if you want to be an EMT or a nurse, even a nurse, having a criminal record really throws you for a loop. So when you get a second chance at life, that's what I mean about Second Childhood Series. So it's a group. We communicate on Zoom. We meet in the person. In their private meetings, we don't record them or nothing. And we just build each other up, and we help each other while we're still, you know, some of my guys are still trying to get their record expunged. Some of them already got their record expunged. There's women involved with this too. You know what I'm saying? There's a guys group, there's a female group, it's et cetera, et cetera. But it's not just also for that. Let's say you were in a marriage and you had a divorce and you want to try again. So you're looking for some camaraderie, some sort of, you know, some brotherhood or whatever, some sisterhood to build you up so you can get the courage to try again. You don't want to get your heart broken again. You want to talk to somebody who's been through it before. So we have people that are in a phase where they've been through it before, they're married again. Or let's say you lost your parenting rights. You want to get your parenting rights again. Or let's say you want to try and have a kid again. So this is just stuff, it's basically try again type shit, all right? That's one thing. Number two, the reason why I hung up these signs right here is so that I could read this, right? And I could get used to hanging these signs up. I haven't really stopped. I've been doing this shit for 4 years straight. You know what I'm saying? But this correctional officer's creed, I say it. You know what I'm saying? To memorize it, all right? But when I'm done saying the creed, I also go through the motions because, you know, listen, when you're in training to be a correctional officer, okay, or a jail guard, they're gonna teach you in your training probation period. Hold on, I want you to be able to hear me. There's a motorcycle going by. In your probation period, they teach you how to take inmates from jail cell to jail cell, or from the cell to the shower, or from the cell to the bus where you go to court or whatever, or to whatever it is. Okay, so they gotta teach you how to do that step by step. All right, you go through the motions. But when you're going to school for this shit, somebody teaches you. A professor teaches you. They might teach you in class. If you're online, they might teach you online. But when you're in a student organization like mine, I go through the motions, all right? So whether I'm with my group or whether I'm by myself, I go through the motions like I'm taking somebody from cell to cell or like transporting somebody, like an officer. Let's say I arrest somebody and I put them in a car and I transport them. I literally go through the motion. So it's good to actually take acting class, because when you take acting class, like I took acting classes via Coursera at the University of London, NYU, performing. I got my certification in performing arts. All right. So like I said, you already know how I do when you watch my Think Like a Cop series or my Diary of a Law Student. You see how I watch, what do you call it, live PD, Law and Order, cops, and all of that, and then you basically simulate them. So it's basically something, I call it the mocking game, all right? But basically, what I want you to do whenever you practice to do this by yourself, or you practice with me, you get ready to do it with me, you know what I'm saying, is focus on that tunnel vision, because there's going to be people, the difference between a police academy and a military boot camp, right? When you're in a student organization, which this is really nothing original, no idea is original, right? There's student organizations that are based on law, right? You'll have like and the thing about student organizations, a lot of people say, well, I've never seen this done by a student organization before. Well, have you seen every student organization do what they do? Pause, there's a truck. Okay, the answer is no. So you're in a chess club. Your chess club, you guys play regular chess, but then in another chess club, they teach you how to play speed chess, all right? And you're like, well, I've never done this before because your club doesn't do speed chess, but this club over here, they specialize in speed chess, okay? So every student organization operates different, because this is a student-run thing here, all right? So, you know what I'm saying? So basically, keep that tunnel vision and practice, because there's going to be people that may be just standing aside when you're not in a disclosed area. A disclosed area would be something like you run a gym, okay, which, there may be instances where we run a gym and we practice on this, okay? Hey, you guys, don't go all crazy and shit. It's cool. I'm just saying, the police show up for any damn reason, and you guys doing that, I don't want to be included in what you're doing. So, but I'm not saying don't have fun. Have fun. Yo, dude, don't let him coon you. That's an example of, you see what I'm saying? Like a guy like that will call the cops on you saying you acting all crazy, and he was trying to tempt you to get you mad at him to run out his car. You know how them bulls do. I knew that shit was gonna happen, because I be shadow boxing too, and people try and heat me up to get me mad. That, you know what I mean? As soon as you would have ran up, he would have called the pigs on you. That's how them devils work. Have fun, but be careful, because them devils is everywhere. They just want to case you up. Anyhow, so in a disclosed area, you could do shit without shit like that happening, right? But when you're in a public area, that was a perfect example. That guy was telling those little kids, they were just having fun. And I knew some shit like that was going to happen. He's like, dude, you should join a gym because your saddle boxing sucks. Those kids are just trying to have fun. So whether you're a young black male or a grown black man or just a white guy or whatever, when you're not bothering nobody, there's always somebody like that to try to take you down. So keep that tunnel vision, do what you got to do, and make sure you don't get bothered and run out of car or stop what you're doing. And continue doing what you're doing, close up shop, and get moving to the next episode, get to where you got to go, because trouble is around every corner, and you don't need that if you're a law student trying to go to law school or whatever you're trying to do. Last note, just like, drama clubs, right? How many people really know about drama clubs out there? If you do, send me an email at stackbookfoundation@gmail.com, or 412-587-9549. I will let you know what your point of view is. Drama clubs, because, really, it's just really a big disconnect, a discord, I feel like, when it comes to the understanding of what college students do, because, some people think, they know a little bit about fraternities or sororities. But you really don't know what it's like to be in a sorority or fraternity unless you're really in one. You see it on the movies. It's nothing like the movies. It's nothing like Skull. It's nothing like any of that. All right. Same thing as boot camp. What I do is nothing like that. What I do is nothing like police academy. What I do is nothing like your drama club. But one thing that's similar from my drama club to your drama club is drama club is based on acting, okay? And to a thespian, the world is a stage, all right? You know what I'm saying? So we usually practice, like, you know, talk to your local screenplay or playwright, you know, your local playwright. Do you know anybody who writes plays? Probably not. Well, then you wouldn't know what it's like being a thespian, all right? You're like, what does that have to do with being a cop? A lot. Acting has a lot to do with being a cop, and they don't teach you how to act in police academy or boot camp. You learn whenever you realize that if you don't know how to act, and the difference between an actor and a thespian, and you're caught up in a jam, you're going to rely on your manpower, your muscle, not your brain, and definitely not psychology. Psychology has a lot to do with acting, and you got to be able to act when you're not ready for it. You got to be able to how do I act around black people? How do I act around white people? How do I act around Asian people? How do I act around Russian? Totally different, okay? It's always performance. You know, law enforcement has a lot to do with performance, even as a forensics officer. So when you're in your role, okay, and this is more than just, you know, being an undercover cop or being an informant, you know, even on your day-to-day job, you know what I'm saying? Being too charismatic is being too charismatic. Being candid, that's a totally different story. So you got to know the levels to it, and you can't sweat, you can't perspire, because no matter what you do, no matter what career you choose, when you're serious about doing something, your bag, there's always people on the side that want to see you fumble. What's walking a tightrope? Walking a tightrope is working at a bar and you're a server, or working at a restaurant and there's some guys making jokes about your body because they want you to be pissed off so they can get their food for free. People always do that, or get their drinks for free. Ask any woman who's been a bartender who looks good, and she'll tell you, or even a waitress, and she looks good. Waitresses always get sexually, what do you call it? Not abused, but like the words, you know, they always get, you know, sexual comments thrown at them, or stuff to piss them off. Even if they're obese, somebody make them follow you're heavy, you get your food for free, you know? So no matter what it is, you got to do that, because you don't always have that disclosed location. You know what I'm saying? You can't always be at your apartment. This is 24/7, 365 practice from the time you wake up until the time you go to sleep, all right? So take advantage of wherever you got a stage to perform, and remember, keep that tunnel vision, think like a cop, and fund the police. Last thing, so we practice in the field or in our training, so we do in our career. That was told to me by a wise man. Heed the call, fund the police.